Democrats continue to lose at the speed of sound. I'm always curious, what are they going to do with their party? How are they going to build? All their efforts so far, especially the ones today, are hilarious. There's a new DNC chair. We have James Carville. We have Rachel Maddow. All wrong answers, all lost and just floundering in the wilderness. I think the party's probably going to collapse or just remain like a little third party. A major new party could easily come up and take a lead position from the Democrat Party because they have no ideas. They have nothing. Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. Here's James Carville, wrong answers only.
We ran a presidential election. If we were playing the Super Bowl, we started our seventh string quarterback. That's what happened. Okay, you can't address a problem unless you're honest about a problem.
He's got the wrong problem. He's calling Kamala Harris the seventh string quarterback. Now, James Carville lives in the matrix. That is, he's so blind that he can't see his way out. So I only want to ask him, which he'll never answer, why is it that your party ran the seventh string quarterback? There were 6 other strings in front of that seventh string, but they weren't black women.
And none of this was inevitable. Now, if you were to put the staggering talent that exists in today's Democratic Party. You heard what I said? The staggering talent that exists in today's Democratic Party. And people would have seen that. They'd have gone, I didn't know they had people like that can actually complete a sentence.
Why are you putting people running who can't even complete a sentence? It never occurs to James Carville. Yes, you have brilliant talent. They're not allowed to run. Why? Because of diversity, equity, and inclusion, because you do not promote excellence, because you guys sold out. That's the biggest problem. The ideology of the Democrat Party is to take someone who is not a staggering talent and favor them above the others. And that's why you lose, and you will continue to lose, Carville. You will forever lose until you change that Democrat Party DNA, and I don't see how they do it. They built their whole party on it.
Okay, that actually can know how to frame a message, that actually have a sense of accomplishment of doing something. If we would have excited people, and we would have had people from the middle of the country, we would have had people from the coast, we'd have been diverse, and then when you do that, that's how people get involved in politics. We have not had an inspirational presidential candidate since 2012.
And
that's a problem.
When you have a primary and a contest like the playoff, you get a big winner, and that credentials the nominee. They earn it. James suggested earlier, and I was 1,000% for this, we can have a short primary here instead of anointing somebody. I got called to like a secret meeting with a bunch of senior White House people after the terrible...
Look at her. How did she get her job over at PBS? Was she a diversity hire? I don't think so.
Biden debate with some other non-Trump, Trump opposing Republicans. And I said, this Carville thing is right. Go do a minute. Let Whitmer go beat somebody, or if Kamala's that good, let her beat somebody to make her somebody, not just an appointment. She was nominated on a telephone conference call.
Now all the truth comes out. She was nominated on a conference call, but you guys all voted for her. You all enthusiastically went and lied to the public and said, she is great. Kamala is fine. Let's do this, people. Now, here's Rachel Maddow flipping out about the people that Trump fired at the FBI. And I love watching Rachel Maddow flip out because, again, you want them to have wrong answers only. They will not address the problem, and they will no longer, their evil Marxist ideology will not be able to get traction among voters. That's the part that I care most about, is that they continue to lose because they're hardened satanic Marxists.
At the FBI. This includes reporting and rumors about actions that very seriously impact our workforce. Consistent with our commitment to share information with you as we receive it, Acting Deputy Director Kassane and I want to provide you with an update. Late this afternoon, I received a memo from the Acting Deputy Attorney General notifying me that 8 senior FBI executives are to be terminated by specific dates unless these employees have retired beforehand. So 8 of them will be out unless they quit. The memo also directs me to provide by noon on Tuesday the following, quote, all current and former FBI personnel assigned at any time to investigations and or prosecutions relating to events that occurred at or near the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, and also United States versus Haniyeh, which is, I believe, a case about Hamas and the October 7th attack. They want a list of all current and former FBI personnel assigned at any time to investigations or prosecutions related to January 6th or that one Hamas case.
Because they're all compromised and they're corrupt, they didn't do a good job, and so they, by the definition, need to be fired. Anyone with this ideology inside the FBI can't be trusted. And Trump also tells them all, do not erase your emails. Keep all communications because there might be further investigations in this.
Quote, these lists should include relevant supervisory personnel in FBI regional offices and field divisions, as well as FBI headquarters. For each employee included in the list, provide the current title, office to which the person is assigned, role in the investigation or prosecution, and date of last activity relating to the investigation or prosecution. Upon timely receipt of the requested information, the Office of the Deputy Attorney General will commence a review process to determine whether additional personnel actions are necessary. The acting director of the FBI then tells personnel at the FBI, quote, we understand that this request encompasses thousands of FBI employees across the country who have supported these investigative efforts.
Good. The more they flush out, the more people we know to fire.
This past Monday, interim U.S. Attorney Martin issued an email to the entire office stating as much. He said that there would be an internal investigation into our office and specifically the January 6th prosecutors' charging decisions with respect to charging certain violators, or rather certain January 6th defendants.
Did you hear that? They're doing an investigation at the FBI, an internal investigation. The Federal Bureau of Investigations is being investigated. It's about time. They're corrupt.
Former Trump defense lawyer Emil Bove at the Justice Department, possibly on orders from the White House, has demanded a list of every single FBI agent in the entire country who worked on any January 6th case in any capacity at all. And even though that includes the new acting director and the new acting deputy director who Trump himself just ham-handedly accidentally appointed, they say the reason they want that list is because they're going to review it for potential personnel action against all those agents.
Yeah, fire all of them. Hopefully there's thousands, maybe tens of thousands of names on that list. Get them, can them all en masse. We have to flush them out of the FBI.
Does this fundamentally change who we are as a country? If FBI and Justice Department prosecutors, FBI officials and Justice Department prosecutors have now had their careers threatened and in some cases ended, specifically because they worked on lawful cases that didn't please the president?
Yes, it fundamentally changes us and turns the FBI from being a clandestine, secret, anti-citizen police brigade, a secret Gestapo. It cleans up. So yeah, that changes the country. I'll answer it for you.
Have we already sort of crossed a Rubicon in terms of who we are as a country and what the rule of law is in the United States of America?
Oh, sweet pea, we're way past that Rubicon. Where were you at when the Rubicon was actually crossed 4 years ago in the J6 committee and the FBI started investigating U.S. citizens? She doesn't care about the crossing of that Rubicon.
Absolutely. That's what's happening. I mean, the cruelty of it is this wonderfully young prosecutor, idealistic, is gone, right? The second thing is that it's clear that it's, quote, my Justice Department, as the president called it. That brings us back to the days when it was J. Edgar Hoover, but instead of J. Edgar Hoover going after Martin Luther King or even the John Birch Society for political reasons, it's Donald Trump doing it to use the Justice Department or the FBI to exact retribution or pursue political enemies. But I got to say, there is a responsibility that we have in the United States Senate as an independent institution to cry foul here. And I really am hoping that my Republican colleagues, who many of whom I have great respect for, see that this is no game anymore. I mean, what the president did with this impoundment, he has no authority to do. What he's doing with the purging of the FBI is showing that he is deadly serious. And I think there was a lot of wishful thinking on a lot of folks that the Trump agenda would be different than it was. But he's made it clear, lawlessness and cruelty. He will use both of those to take care of his need for retribution, but also to privilege the Elon Musk of the world. And there's only a few of them. But
What a weirdo, the Elon Musk conspiracy. Where was this guy at for the cruelty shown against the J6ers? This guy laughed. They loved it. Rah, rah, rah. You don't get a lawyer. You get to put in solitary confinement till you rat out other people. Proud Boys. Rah, rah, rah. Rot in jail. You don't get to have your religious services. You don't get to have your hair cut. You have to strain the rusty water in your prison through a sock, and we'll move you every 4 weeks to disorient you to a different prison. So you get exposed to all new thugs. So as soon as you get enculturated to one prison, they moved them to another. That's our Justice Department. These people had no sympathy. They're all, rah, rah, rah. You get to go in solitary. You don't get to talk to them. Some J6ers even took their own lives. And this guy and the Congress, no sympathy. I can't even take this guy or Rachel Maddow seriously. They don't care.
But those are the ones who are in charge.
The more eyes, more MAGA eyes on it, the better to get these guys out. They basically admit that the problem at the FBI is bigger than any of us imagined, because they're saying, Rachel Maddow's going like, hey, they're pretty much, everyone in the FBI worked on J6. Everyone, almost everyone, thousands and thousands of names. Thank you for admitting to us how widespread, dark, and corrupt they were at going after political opponents. This entire FBI needs to be replaced and brought in with new, fair, honest, constitutional guys under a new mandate. You're no longer going to spy on pro-life Catholics and people who sing praises outside of a Planned Parenthood. You're going to go after bad guys in our border, out of our border, dealing drugs on the southern border, doing human trafficking, human slavery, anyone outside of the country coming in with nefarious purposes. See, there's a new mandate in town. Good. So now on the Democrats just completely floundering and losing, there's Jen Psaki over there on the right. This was a debate for a new DNC leadership. The Democrat National Committee, because they lost so badly, they have to put together a new leader. And so they pick from these people, and this one lady, you're going to love her. You're going to love her case. It's too good.
And we'll begin with the opening statements. Each candidate will have 30 seconds, and we'll start with Dr. Quintessa Hathaway.
Good evening, everyone. It is my desire to be the next DNC chair, and I just want to give you all a little bit of something that's been on my heart here over the last couple of days.
Hold on one second. This is Quintessa Hathaway. She's got my voice. Dr. Quintessa Hathaway, candidate for DNC chair. She already has my vote. I'm rooting for you.
You fight on, you fight on, you fight on, you fight on. When your government is doing you wrong, you fight on, oh, you fight on.
I sang this to the J6 guys when the government came after them, and the pro-lifers, when the government came after them, and Biden's people threw that 80-year-old woman in prison for singing hymns. You fight on. So Quintessa Hathaway, when your government do you wrong, you fight on. I just like that her argument was basically to sing. They're like, ooh, case closed, well said.
Thank you, thank you, Dr. Hathaway.
Thank you.
And we'll begin with...
They're going, thank you, call the police. Now, I know it's a surprise to you, but she did not win the DNC. Who did win? Look at this diversity hire. We're going to bring this guy up here. This is the guy that won, the new head of the DNC. As you can see, this is a straight white male. So the Democrats have a new standard in town. Here's new Ken Martin. If cardboard and cream of wheat had a name, it would be Ken Martin. Maybe if he suffers from a disease, it's albinoism. He's of Minnesota, has been elected DNC chair. He's best known for his fundraising and organizing efforts. His political ideologies are unclear. Oh, I doubt that, so I did a little research on his political ideologies. Here's Ken Martin, the guy that just won on Twitter. This is back in 2020. The White House was aware in early 2019 of intelligence indicating Russia was secretly offering bounties to the Taliban for the deaths of Americans. That's a full year earlier than had been previously reported. And Ken Martin's response was, what the actual F? Real Donald Trump should be immediately impeached and then put on trial for treason. This is over what's been proven to be a Russian hoax. More Adam Schiff, more stuff. And Ken Martin was ready to impeach Trump on treason. And treason, by the way, carries with it a death penalty. So this is actually a threat on the president's life by Ken Martin, the new DNC chair. His actions led to the deaths of American soldiers. He's a traitor to our nation and all those who have served. He is Benedict Donald. So I don't know about you guys, but it looks like the Democrat Party is back in capable, radical hands. Wrong answers only. What do you guys think of Ken Martin? Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. This is where all the happy patriots are.